We've been hanging and banging, brother.
What up?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey. We are the Gatekeepers. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Dan.
My name is Billy.
Howdy ho. So this is a fencing podcast all about tips, tools, tricks, and techniques to get you going right with everything fence. We have a special guest today, and we will get into that in just a little bit. Close friend of ours, also in the Pensacola area. Well, he's in Pace, right?
No, he's in Cantonment.
Cantonment, okay.
Yeah.
But he's close. Close, still in the Northwest Florida, and then also in other areas as well. We'll get into all of that. We got a Mr. Chris Steele coming on soon here.
Yes, sir.
Before we get too big into everything, how's your week been, man?
My week was good, dog. It was different, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was good, man. What about yours?
Fucking wild, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking wild. I did first official day working on motorcycles,
I know.
which has been rad. The fabrication side is going complete right-hand turn.
Yeah.
And worked on in and out 4 different bikes. Pretty sweet.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah, working on a local Triumph dealer, working on Ducatis and Triumphs and other Euro bikes, which is pretty rad.
I bet, dude.
Yeah,
I bet.
And after you make sure everything's done, you got.
I was about to say you gotta
test drive
test drive it, right? Or test ride it.
Yeah, you got to test ride it just to make sure everything's functioning properly before you hand it back to your client. And
Right.
it's pretty damn sweet, brother.
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
So it was freezing this morning, guys. Y'all need to check on your Florida friends. We are not prepared for this weather.
Yeah, no, everybody in Northwest Florida, make sure you kind of crack the pipes a little bit. Let some water trickle
It was
overnight.
cold this morning, bro. I was freezing, dog. You kick the cord?
I might have accidentally kicked it. All right.
Oh man, you kicked the cord, dude. What's up with that?
Oh, no. Let me double check on here. Sorry, everybody. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. It seems like we are back on track. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Relit our intro music. If nothing else.
All right. Can you hear us, Chris?
I can hear you now.
There we go.
Rad.
Cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
Wow.
All right.
There it is.
What's going on today? Yeah.
What's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
Oh,
Chilling.
not much, man. Just doing the old podcast on Tuesdays. How about
You
you?
know.
What's been going on?
Man, it was today was our Monday. We were off yesterday. I made an
hear
early
you.
call. Thought it was going to rain. Probably messed that up because now it's freezing and we work today in the rain. And so I'm just finishing up my day. I still can't hear y'all.
We're muted again.
Give us just a second.
What's going on here, man? It's never done this before.
I have no idea.
Got the high steel look going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything's
good now.
right.
I think we're good again. Cool.
All right.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So, you guys worked in that sleet and cold rain today?
Yeah, we did, unfortunately.
Yeah, man. It wasn't very much fun. It was freezing. I was warming my hands up with the Bobcat exhaust today.
Yeah.
I was like, putting them right next to it, just warming them up.
Mm-hmm.
I texted
Straps were
Dan
frozen
Wheeler.
on the truck.
I texted Dan Wheeler and said, man, I don't know how y'all do this, because I think it was like something ridiculous the other day, 10 degrees or something. They were out working. Heck
Oh
no.
my God. No.
I couldn't do it. I legit could not do it. Whenever they said it was going to be 17 tomorrow, I was like, I am not working outside tomorrow.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Find anything and everything else to do
I was
other
like,
than work outside.
I'm not going outside tomorrow and working tomorrow. It's going to be way too cold for that.
I feel bad about tomorrow, man. I'm gonna have to go out there with him. It's gonna be cold.
It'll be a rough one.
Yeah. I had on my base layers. I had a pair of long johns over the base layers, had my True Works on, and then I had a base layer, my work shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a long sleeve fishing shirt.
Oh man.
Oh dog. I was damn near like a
That
Christmas
layer's
Story
deep.
movie,
Yeah.
like could barely move my damn arms. It was fucking cold. The straps were frozen on the trailer this morning. It's like go untwist them and they wouldn't twist off. I was like, what the hell? Or just sitting there frozen. But all right, man. Well, so Chris Steele, you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
Yeah, Chris
name,
Steele.
where you're
I am
from,
in
all
Pace,
that
Florida.
stuff.
I'm not in Cantonment, but I'm in Pace, Florida.
Yeah, you're right.
I knew it.
I thought we were talking about Justice Seconder for a second. I thought you were going to go on the
He's in
little thing
Cantonment,
from
right?
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in Pace. Our other office is in South Louisiana, and I work with Mr. Fitz Academy as well.
Okay.
Busy,
All right.
Busy.
So tell us a little background. Like, how did you get into the fence industry? What brought you into it? And how long have you been into it?
Yeah, man. So I grew up. The guy down the street had a fab shop in his garage, and his wife owned a daycare, an in-home daycare. So about 11 years old, I seen the pretty blue light coming through the door, and I'd go in there and stare at it and get yelled at. And eventually one day he said, if you're going to come down here and stare at me, let me set you up and teach you how to sandblast. So, probably, I don't know, somewhere 11, 12 years old, I sandblasted after school one day, and he gave me $20. And that was my first little taste of, getting a paycheck or whatever. So I worked with him growing up, summers. I cut grass and stuff when I got older. I got my driver's license, but he was my main source of income until I started this. He was like my second dad, and we really butted heads. I mean, the culture was bad. It was a really bad culture, a really bad environment to be in. He's a great person. We still talk today. Just the culture at that time, the company was young, and I know what he was going through now that I'm going through it. And, I'm surprised I haven't acted like that because I understand it. But we were butting heads one day, and I said, I'm going to quit. And he said, you'll never make it, or, get out of here. I'll see you next week or something. And I said, man, I'm going to do whatever the hell I got to do not to come here next week, whatever it takes. So I'm not a fence guy, but, growing up, I didn't grow up in the industry. I was chucking a truck, man. I had this old truck and started cutting grass, doing some handyman stuff. I had a partner at the time. We were going to change the world. 2015 and February 15th, 2015 is when we started. I kind of handled the landscaping part. He kind of handled the home improvement. We were, man, just charging nothing, doing crappy fences when we got a fence. We were that guy. We were that company that was undercutting everybody probably. I literally called a guy in town and said, what do you charge for privacy fence, man? And he tells me what he charges. And I'm like, oh, yeah, $11 a foot. Okay, I can do that. Let's do it. Well, that obviously didn't work very long, right? Like, how does two people make a paycheck? No workman's comp, no insurance, none of that stuff. So we decided, we were starting to butt heads over money because we had none, and he got a job offer at D.R. Horton at the time as a superintendent. He left High Steele making $500 a week when we had the money to pay him to like $100,000 job. So, we couldn't be mad at each other. Right. It was kind of a mutual thing. We're like, this company's worth nothing. at the time, High Steele in my head was this big thing, you know. So I got to keep the name. We agree like that. I'm going to take the company over. The company, meaning some drills and shit we had bought, but nothing like we had maybe had a trailer, maybe. And I was still doing handyman, building sheds, stuff like that. And then the fence stuff kind of started taking off. Our town was growing at the time. New construction was popping up. And, someone asked me to build a fence. And, yeah, I know what to do. My first fence, man, this is embarrassing. Like, I asked around, but, like, there was not a lot of YouTube, like, videos or anything back then. There was, maybe some Lowe's videos. I just set the pickets on the ground. I didn't run a string up top or nothing. I didn't know what a straightaway was. I just set them on the ground because she said she didn't want her dog to get out. And she loved it, probably because she paid me half of what she paid me exactly what she should have, but half of what a good fence contractor would have charged. And then the neighbor wanted a fence, and I don't know. I kind of liked it. At the time, it was just wood fence, and I just started building fence. And I knew something was wrong. Like, looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't really look pleasing. Like, I seen some people in town, some people started kind of talking about me. Hey, that guy, he's a hack. I'm like, yeah, I think I kind of am. About my fifth or sixth one, I'm like, I'm not doing something right here. So, I tried to get better. I learned how to use a string line. I adapted and overcame. But I got involved with Sean, and he invited me to Fence Tech that's coming up next week. And man, that's when everything like changed. That's when I had a couple people probably had workman's comp and all that, but that was when I seen the professionalism in the industry. And I thought, there's nobody being professional in the Panhandle of Florida right now that I know of. Like, it's all construction guys, no shirts, smoking cigarettes in the customer while they're getting a check from the customer, like cussing, screaming, hollering. No one makes over $12 an hour. Like, I just see this vision, and I've seen people like Mark Olson and Sean King, Tony Thornton, these big names in the industry, and they seem like they had their shit together. Like, just one guy was talking about how he flew his plane there. I'm like, you got a plane? What do you do for a living? Like, you build fences? I can have a plane?
Right.
Same thing that I do.
All
Like,
right.
you have a plane?
Is this
No
like,
way.
is this Tony or is this Mark?
This is Mark at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
And, I was just literally like, I was fish out of water. I was not supposed to be there, but I was just a sponge, man. I soaked it all up. And, and at the same time, I had pretty much ran it all the way in the ground. There was no more money left. When I reached out to Sean and he invited me to Fence Tech, I couldn't. I had no money to go, and I think I maxed out my last credit card to get there. And he kind of took me under his wing. Some other people helped me out, and that's kind of when I got involved with the academy. That wasn't the academy then, but that's when I learned how to started learning how to run a business. I don't have it all figured out now. 9 years later, I'm not an expert. I've just done a lot of stupid shit. I've just learned from really messing up and really, really doing things the incorrect way that it's humbling looking back on. Like I drive by some fences that we did 2016. It's like, man, I really want to knock on the door, and just be like, hey, I'm just going to tear this shit out and redo it. I've had a couple of gates, those gate kits from Home Depot?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, I thought I was doing the right thing. We got a call last year. Guy had no idea it was me. Just happened to call High Steele Fence, and I go out there and as I pulled up, I remembered it. I fought that thing. It's a piece of junk. The guy's got cancer now. He wants to make sure his fence is squared away for his children to inherit the house and all of that. And I'm looking at him. I was like, man, you don't even recognize me. You don't even know who I am. Don't really care who you are. I just need this fence done. Time's limited. I said, man, I'm the guy that did this, and I am sorry, and it's free. And he ended up giving us a tip or whatever and wanting to pay. But he said, man, you were super cheap. Like, I knew what I was getting into. I'm not mad. It's like, I think you did this gate for like $200 or something. But yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of the journey, man. It's been a rough ride. It's had its peaks and lows, but I guess to sum up your question, 9 years now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a long time. So did you have two separate locations in two separate states? Regarding that, like, which one was the first one, and kind of what made you choose the location for the second?
Yeah, so our Florida location was definitely the first. That's where I grew up. Fast forward 2000, all the years are running together, 21-ish. I think into 20, early 21, South Louisiana got hit with a big hurricane. A friend of mine has family over there. It's wintertime, I don't have a whole lot going on. And he asked me if I would be interested in providing some supplies, riding over there with him. Yeah, absolutely. So backtracking, the business partner I had that we're still very close friends today, his dad lives in the area. So, yeah, I'm going to go by and he can't get a hold of him. My friend's in Costa Rica, can't get a hold of his dad. He doesn't know if he's okay. He's assuming he's all right, but can't get a hold of him. So we find him, and he works there in town, and the place he works needed some fence. I'm like, nah, man. I chased hurricane work in Panama City in 19. That's what really just pushed me over the top into almost bankruptcy. Was being so far from home, not having resources there, not having the capital to grow, and I'm like, I'm not interested. And he talks me into the man, just come over. All the fabric had blown down around this big facility. Just temporary tie this chain link up. We'll pay you great money. We can't get no one over here to do it. Like, okay. You talk me into it. I have a camper, so again, we're not like. This is when our winters were like real slow. Like we're looking for something to do. And they agree to pay for housing and me be able to pay the guys per diem. Like the first time I can actually do this properly, I think. But we go for the week, we get the job done. And that Friday, like they have a meeting, and one of the main people of the company was there in town. And he said, man, we seen you out here working over the week and it was raining. Y'all were out there just, working. And little does he know, I want to go home. Yes, we said we were going to get the job done.
Get it done and get out. Yeah.
It's cold. It's raining. We're sleeping in the camper. I got my crew and myself in a camper. Like, what am I even doing over here? Helping a buddy out. And he said, we want to get you to replace this 40,000 feet of fence. I'm like, yeah, that's probably not going to happen. And, they're talking to, well, we just need this one section, this one big section. Let's get it fixed. Like, man, this is sounding like 2019 for me. Sounds like I'm chasing work. And, I throw a number out there. Like, yeah, that's cool. All right. And at the time, I knew a guy named Trevor from Facebook that lived, I thought close, maybe 30, 45 minutes away. So I hit him up on Facebook. I'm like, hey, man, how far are you from Houma, Louisiana? And he's like, well, where are you at in Houma? I said, right now I'm, in front of an airport. He said, I live across the street from the airport. Okay? Like, I'm in this dude's backyard, like, dang, man. I'm like, you got time to go to dinner? He said, yeah. So we go to dinner, and he's got, I would say the most professional company there, very professional installs organization. And he's doing very impressive numbers with a very, very small, limited team. Like, they are just fence freaking ninjas. And he's like, I'm thinking about doing some work for this company. I'll be in town for a little bit. He said, yeah, in the meantime, I've got all the work you can shake a stick at, like all of it, like as much as you want to do, I'm like, well, maybe that'll fill some days in while we complete this, some of this job. And long story short, I never left. One of the guys at the company, is like, all right, I want you to do the rest of it. I said, man, I have nowhere to even keep, like, I don't have a building. I don't have nothing over here. He's like, oh, well, I have I got a big lot with a metal building on it. It's got 5 offices in it. I was like, yeah, I bet I can afford that. He throws a number out. Like, what? The culture over there is just really, like, once they trust you, like, you're in. Like, if it costs me this much to do it, they understand it. Like, they're okay with paying. There's a lot of oil field money down that way, I think. But so I never left, man. And I just stayed there. And it just got busier and busier. And I just started growing. There's a lot. I wouldn't say there's a lot of competition down there. There's some steep competition. I mean, there's people that's been in business for 40 years, 50 years down there. And I was the guy coming in from Florida, that guy coming in with everyone's money and who can trust him. And, once I made a relationship with a customer in the neighborhood, it started growing, like, hey, bro, I talked to, Steve down the road, just get it done, get it on the schedule. He said you're good people. Like, it's just like that over there. Like yeah. Here's a contract.
Nice.
Contract, which, it's not a contract for what? You think I ain't gonna pay you? Like, I mean, they're very trustworthy, but damn sure better do something when you say you're going to. But yeah, I just started growing, man, and we're blessed over there too. It's definitely been a rocket a rocket and a roller coaster. I forgot the struggles I went through with trying to hire people. In Florida, I put an ad out. I'll have people show up the next day because everyone knows me. I've lived here my whole life. Like, if you're in the fence industry here, you know who High Steele is. And, everything on Facebook's perfect world. So, people just show up. I'm competing with the oil field down there. I put an ad on Facebook and no one even likes it. So I forgot what it was like to go through those struggles, man. And we went through them. We're still going through them. It's still the first year was over $1 million in revenue. And it was just fast, just happened so quick. And you forget about all the little things, the SOPs, like the insurances, the, and team member handbooks and different culture, right? Like you can't smoke marijuana here at work. For real? Yeah, man.
Right.
Like you have a joint in your mouth in our safety meeting, man. You're probably not going to work out. Well, man, no one told me. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know. Like just totally starting over, and that's story.
Yeah,
like
That's wild.
You should do that on your own time.
Yeah, exactly. What you do at home, I don't care. But the best
right?
thing is we were talking
in the
about
middle of a safety meeting.
Yeah, like we're having a Monday morning meeting. I think at that time we did them on Fridays or something. But and he lights a joint. It's like, dude. But speaking of drugs, it's like, I mean, one time I made a joke and I shouldn't have, but I'm like, hey man, like tell everybody, like, I don't care if you smoke meth at home as long as you come to work. And I didn't, like, I was so fed up with, the newer guys smoking weed. The guy turns around and he's like, I've smoked a whole wheelbarrow full of meth in my life. I am not working with no meth heads. It's like, dude, holy shit. Okay. I really, I've got to step up. I needed to either stop or step up and be a leader, right? And do the right thing and really take this thing seriously. Because at first it was, we hired a couple guys to help us wrap up a contract, and it kept going and growing. And then it gets to something where you're like, okay, I got to step up and do the right thing. But I'm in Florida. So I was there about 6 months. I neglected my family. I neglected my company at home. I don't think it's a great idea to jump across states and open a fence location with no standard operating procedures, no rule book. I mean, literally just, at the time I hired a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine. He was getting out of the Army to go over and manage it. But, I left him with a cell phone. Just call me when you need me. And of course, when I'm not getting my ass kicked, I can answer the phone and yeah, I'm here to help. And okay, that's how you do that. And we work through it. There's sometimes I got to call you back, but he's sitting there with a problem that he needs an answer to right now. So that was a really big learning curve for us. I mean, we've basically mended our friendship now, but it's still, there's still some between us. And I think I let him down just as much as I feel like he let me down, and a lot of times as leaders and entrepreneurs and the boss, you think, man, I did what I was supposed to do. But looking back, I set him up for failure. Like I set him up for, to have questions with no answers. And man, why didn't this job get done today? He's like, well, dude, I don't know how to fix a driver when it broke. Like I called you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to close this big deal. I don't have time to tell him how to fix a driver. Like, so I look at, and I don't know much about this, but I look at like franchises and people with multiple locations. They were probably a lot smarter than me at first. They probably said, hey, I should write some stuff down. I should probably make some standard operating procedures. We should start a book. And if the answer's not in the book, let's put it in the book, whatever that case may be. And that's what we're working on right now at High Steele is SOPs, like big time. Like I want the dumbest question in the world, the dumb question. I want it in a book that you can find digitally, on paper, everything where you can find the answer to it. I want a searchable manual that goes, okay, somebody wants to make a credit card payment. What's our process for that? Like someone wants to finance a job.
Right.
This broke. A change order. What do I do now? Like the customer said they'd pay us when we get done and we added 100-foot of fence, but that's not in contract. Like just the little things that add up so quickly with starting a new branch, because yes, at our office, everyone knows what's going on. I mean, most of the time it's a smooth deal, but we just started this thing off the ground with new people, and expected, yes, I expected everything to run like it did. Again, school of hard knock. I really do some stupid shit, but we're very blessed that we've got it to running, the phone ringing, somebody going out, having consultations, paying deposits, us putting fence in the ground efficiently now. no one there knew, like none of the people we hired knew how to build fence. I mean, it was just 100% starting over.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're getting all fresh.
Oh man, like
everybody.
100%. Like I look at like Mark Olson, you know, he moved and started that deal up. And, you know, at first when I see it, I was like, well, you know, Mark's got all this experience and man, he's going to kill it. Dude, you can have all the experience in the world, but you have to teach everything, like every little step, process, procedure. Like there's no one on your team that knows anything at all. Like, and of course we didn't start out with Miss Jones, you know, 200-foot of wood fence that we have 3 days to build it. You know, we went out and sold $100,000 worth of work. Like we got to get this stuff done. You know, I had a guy tell me the first job I sold as High Steele, an older gentleman looked me in my eyes, shook my hand. He said, I pay in cash. I was like, yes, sir. That's fine. You know, for us, it's all got to go to the bank. You know, he said, I don't care what you do with it. He said, if you fuck me over, I will put you up. I will cut you up and put you in my crab trap. And he squeezed my hand. He goes, I'm not lying. I was like, he's first on the schedule, guys. He gets done first, right?
Yeah, right.
He gets first. And the best of the best are working on this fence.
I don't care if it's snowing outside. You guys go finish that.
We're doing that damn fence right now.
I don't want to be cut up.
No, you know, and I don't speak like I'm from there. So I'd knock on the door. Hey, you know, Mr. Boudreaux, how you doing? Where you from, bro? What are you doing here? You know, it was tough.
Right.
Tough.
Right.
And then I'm telling people,
rough ride there.
Hey, man, you should come work at High Steele. And they're like, why? Like, oh, well, we'll start you out at, you know, $15 an hour and hopefully have insurance next month and be able to roll you into a 401k. And they're like, yeah, offshore starts at 25. Oh, well. That's tough, right? How do you turn down that?
Yeah.
So to get it to where it is, and we have a long way to go, man. We're not by any means perfect or even almost got it together over there, but we have came so far. Like it's amazing to see guys that could not build fence that are just absolutely smashing 8-foot razor ribbon, 6 strands of barbed wire, running machinery. Like this thing, that location will be bigger, I think, than the market. The market there is bigger than the market we have here, and I think they will absolutely blow me out of the water in the next couple of years.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
That is awesome. Well, we got a quick segue. We're going to hit the comments, post them up here. Got a bunch of congrats to you, man, and shout outs saying,
a lot of bad
Susan
stuff too,
saying
guys.
that you're the man. Yeah.
What's up, Susan?
We got Mr. Joshua Glover saying that it's cold. You know it. Mr. Steele in the building. Got Dan Wheeler. Shout out to Dan Wheeler, by the way. First official customer to buy a t-shirt, some stickers and stuff.
My man.
So appreciate it. We also have the hoodies, the mug. Oop, there's a camera. Mugs. A bunch of new t-shirts just dropped yesterday. And we got Chris Gass. Tell him about them Jack Boys, though.
Oh, yeah. Man. Dude, they saved our ass. They saved our ass in Louisiana.
What happened with that one?
I got to give him a plug in there. I didn't know if he wanted me to share those experiences. So Chris lives about, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours away from that home location. And man, me and Chris become pretty tight over the years. And I'm talking about all this work they got going on down there. And I know the type of people like the Jack Fence is. I mean, it is in my opinion, the staple like of the fence industry. Like these guys, just his operation, man, is I get a little emotional about it because I've seen what he's poured into it and I've seen what he's done. And it's like when those guys pull up, like all the stress and all the worries and everything just would like go away. Like, and he'd pull up like laughing, like, I'm not even going to attempt to say
saviors here.
Bogo head is what he always what he says, but he'd just pull up with his guys and they would get out and freaking annihilate, like just smash fence. Like, I mean, guys, this mud over there, like demoing a fence is a whole deal. Like it's not just ripping out of the ground real quick. And I talked him into coming down and helping us out. Like, I guess kind of subbing from us, but he'd bring his team down. Now, Chris is the owner. He's with me in a camper. Okay. His team is in the camper. My crew's in the camper. We got 10 people in this damn camper, one shower, one bathroom, plugged into the side of this shop that at the time we couldn't get inside of. So we're all in this camper, and man, anytime I called, he came. I mean, he showed up, hey, I'll be down there on Monday, and he wouldn't come down and, come by the shop. Like he would just go straight to job site, leave it, 5:00 in the morning. Him and his crew would be down and just smash work. We slept deep. Homa builds character. Yeah. So that's
I can see that, man.
I guess that's better than digging holes builds character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Homa will change you, man. And that was now that's it's over with. We always joke about that. Like it builds character because it did. Like we were in them trenches. Like we were like legit like in the bayou sometimes. Like I remember pulling fabric out of the, like they call it a bayou, basically like a little river ditch, but it's it could be chest deep. Like pulling the fabric out, trying to stand it back up, quoting a job where, okay, it's got demo, no problem. Like, I'll just pull the post out real quick. No, that's not how it worked. But yeah, they saved it wouldn't be there today without them. That's for sure.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Man. That's awesome, man. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about you and the Mr. Fence Academy. And
Let's do it, man.
I know a little bit of your background on that. You were basically the first member, right?
I think as much as I'd like to say yes, I mean, I think so. But Sean did a little bit of consulting in the past, to my knowledge. I think there's a couple of guys he helped out prior to me. I just didn't go away. I just I told him a long time ago, I'm riding coattails, all the way to the top. And I'm I'm just going to be here. When you're done helping me, I'm just here like a pain in the ass because I'm not going nowhere. But yeah, man, going back to that, early 19, man, I think it was about time that Josh Glover had come down to Panama City. And it was right after I'd met Sean, AFA, and he was helping me out. Josh had helped me get some material. Like I didn't have credit nowhere, like kind of went out on a limb, helping me get material. Sean was coaching me, but Sean just kind of took me in, man. And he was fighting some battles at the time. His wife was going through her cancer spell. It was shortly before she passed. And, long story short, he's like, man, we're going to meet every Tuesday. I can't promise you what time this is, but you've got to get your shit together. Okay, fair enough. I knew I did. I didn't necessarily know how to do it. Some of it I did. A lot of it was like accountability stuff. Like, as the owner, I don't necessarily need to do my QuickBooks tonight because I'm tired and I worked all day and I don't have time for it. So he, would make me pull all my receipts out, put them in QuickBooks, job cost. I was quoting fence by the foot, at the time, and I didn't understand margin, markup, overhead. Like I didn't understand any of these numbers, what they meant, how to read a P&L, how to read a balance sheet. Like, I mean, I was just oblivious to any of it. I'd kind of figured out how to build fence by that point, but the business side was just not my forte. So at the time, I was asking for help and I was like, man, I'll pay you whatever it takes. And he started laughing. He's like, well, you don't really have any money looking at your book, so you can't afford to pay me. Like, it's funny now, but at the time, man, like I had my wife now is my girlfriend at times at home with a kid, and I'm not telling her anything. Like I have to, like, I'd be like upset at work, like mad, upset, driving home, just have to, wipe the eyes and what's up? What's going on, guys? Like, as far as she knew, like everything was good. My boyfriend or, fiance, whatever, is going to work and he runs a business, and I wasn't running a business. The business was running me. So yeah, it was kind of like the first academy guy, I guess. And I think Cannon Johnson followed right there at the same time, maybe shortly after. And that's when things started, man. And I remember the first retreat was in 2020. And again, even after working with Sean and his team, like it was, yes, Sean King, but Nicole, who works in the office doing all the QuickBooks stuff. At that time, Glenn Miller was Sean's coach. Sean had a business coach as well. And I had access to all these people. Like Sean and I had become pretty close, but like when I met with Glenn, this man didn't smile. Like it was time to do business. Don't show up unprepared, especially when you're not paying nobody. You better bring your shit, And that was really when I had to start working, on the business, in the business, yes, but really having to start narrow down, like knowing your numbers. And that's one thing that Sean really like taught me was how to know my numbers. Like they may not always be good, but if you don't know that they're bad, they're going to get way worse before you catch it. We found out that in 2019, I was losing about 3% per job. Like the way I was bidding them on average was losing 3%. It wasn't enough to like, dang, I really lost a lot of money on that job, but I didn't see it because I wasn't tracking anything. Another deposit would come in and it's good to go. And that's where a lot of this academy stuff comes from for me, is like knowing these numbers, accountability, doing the shit that you don't want to do because you're tired or because your wife wants you to go do this or whatever. You need to wake up earlier and do it. That was, I guess, the beginning of the journey, with Mission Defense Academy. And of course, as time went on, some other people joined and this became a thing. Like Sean's really passionate about teaching. I know that Billy's been to some of the trainings. I mean, that's his element, like helping somebody else, like in this industry that, he's got a story that a lot of people don't know, and it's not my place to tell, but, knowing where Sean came from to where he is today and how humble he really is. Like, a lot of people see how flashy trucks and loud and think, oh, that guy's cocky or he's this, or he's just, he's putting on a show. But that man has done more things for me than anybody has. I mean, honestly, like, I've had a lot of help, but he's definitely put his ass on the line for me, a lot. And seeing this academy grow to members, and like now I get to give back. Like it's time for me to, pay my dividends to where I was taught is to help people along this journey. And I'm really proud to be a part of it. Having people come in all business sizes. I've talked to people that do 10 million a year that have no idea what their overhead is. They just don't know.
Oh, geez.
I've had a guy tell me, literally, he said, man, my wife does my books. Sometimes when I go home, she's happy. When she's in a good mood, that means we have money. There's sometimes I go home and she will not speak to me. That must mean we have no money. But I don't know. And I'm not the guy. Like I don't have all the answers, right? But just being able to track data, like I'm not the person in the academy. Okay, you got some money. I'm gonna tell you exactly how to spend that money. Like that's not me. But being able to learn how to track the data and know what it means. It doesn't matter where you're at in business. Like we all have we can always keep learning, but knowing those numbers, man, that's huge. And there's a lot of other stuff too. Like we recently, I think y'all got a little piece of the pie. The academy had some opportunity to buy some material at a really good cost, and stuff like that plays in too, man. Like I mean, we saved 40% on a couple truckloads of material that got brought to the academy, and as a group we were able to bulk purchase it. That really helped, right?
There's absolutely it did.
Yeah.
And now, man, with Nico, Cannon did a freaking phenomenal job when Cannon was involved as much as he was. It was just, it's so much work being the guy directing it, like leading it, the executor of it. I don't know how he did it as long as he did, but I think Cannon's still hanging around. But now that Nico is basically took that role after he sold his company, now it's somebody full time. Like if anyone knows Sean's, he's got a lot of irons in the fire, right? Like he's all over the place, trainings, consulting, like all over the place. But now that we have somebody that his full time job is to be 100% academy, man, that's huge. Like, I mean, he'll even tell me, hey, like he'll shoot me a reminder, hey, Chris, don't forget you have a meeting today at 4. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. I knew that. Like,
totally. I remember that 100%.
Right. It's evolved, man, and it's crazy to see where it came from, because like the first retreat, we were like sitting around and taking all this information in from other people. I think Matt Warner was there, Sam Natello, like these people that know things, that, and they can put them into our terms. Like most fence guys don't know anything about Google Ads or rankings or any of that stuff. Like I know I sure didn't. And for someone like Sam Natello to be involved, to come in and go, hey, like, I'm going to say dumb it down, like really like dumb it way down to go, okay,
yeah,
X plus X is this, right? Like all of these people coming together. It's not just Sean. It's definitely not just me. It's not Nico. It's not just James. It's all of these people coming together and providing a service that, like I said, I'm really, really happy to be a part of it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
We've got a retreat coming up, April 18th, I believe is the date. And man, it's like drinking out of a fire hose. It's just so much information, like coming at you. The first time I went, I'm like, oh, we're gonna go hang out with some fence people. This will be fun. And man, it was fun, yes, but it was like I was so whooped every day. I mean, classroom, like I don't like sitting. I like to be up doing something, whatever. But like you're just so intrigued by all this information that's coming at you. We help you build a budget. Everyone that comes gets a budget before they leave. So, that's huge. If you don't have a budget in your company, I highly suggest you should. At least, it's the best educated guess you can have to see where, what you need to charge. Without a budget, I don't understand how you would even charge for your fence. If you don't know what your expenses are and your overhead is, like, how do you know what to charge? So, man, I can't say enough good things about it. I'm proud to be a part of it. I know James does a way better job than I do, man. James is a hell of a coach. If you join the academy and you get him, you're luckier than if you get me. I tell you that.
Oh man. Well, hey man, that's great. So I saw you do a couple trainings. Are you still doing some of the trainings, or you kind of step back from that?
I do some. I mean, if they're in the area, I want to help out. Like, that's the energy that like Sean and Chris Gass bring to those trainings. Like, I'll get it done, right? Like, we'll go out there, we'll build the fence, and we'll learn the techniques. But a big part of it, in my opinion, is that energy they bring. Like, Sean is just woo, wow, 100%. You got Chris Gass that won't stop. Like, that dude will outwork anybody. And he's there. The energy, all of that. They do a better job, I think, presenting, the energy that way. I love to do the trainings. I love to see when it clicks, like driving post, or even when we were dry packing. Sorry, I'm going to say that, but when we were dry packing, and it's people that did, wet mix concrete their whole life, and they see it's working. It's like, okay, well, maybe it does work. The best one, we were in Hawaii one year. I was blessed enough that Sean let me tag along for this training, and nobody wanted to listen. I mean, this is the first morning, and everyone's just, it was like,
yeah.
I was like, Sean, this is going to be
a brick wall at that point.
Yeah, and like 30 of them, right? And they kept saying,
geez.
"Oh, is that how it works on the mainland?" Oh, I bet. Just kept like kick back. Finally, I'm like, "Look, guys, all right, look, everybody's getting paid to be here today. Like this is 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I was like, let's have fun at least. If none of this crap works, we'll tear it all out. We'll do it your way. But like, everyone's getting paid. Let's have fun." And man, by the end of the day, these guys were running around, high-fiving, jumping, calling Sean a fence cyborg, like inviting us to their house for dinner. Like, just 100% took us in their culture. And man, it's like, that's what I really like seeing, is that switch, that knowledge turn. And like, everyone has tricks. Like, every time I've done a training, I've learned something too. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, I bet.
For instance, you broke a sprinkler line, 100%. So it happens for us all the time. We broke one time, and I was fixing it. I was getting ready to fix it. And a guy had a drill bit that was the same size as the coupling, but the coupling has that lip in there, right?
Yeah, and you just stick it in there and take
Just
the
drill it
coupling out,
out,
and you slide it in and slide it back over it.
I've never done that. Knew nothing about it. I'm like, holy
really?
shit. Yeah. Like, I've been doing this crap this whole time the wrong way. Maybe not the wrong way, but a different way. So,
right.
Yeah.
I'm always picking up golden nuggets, as well. So the trainings are, we build fence the same way, as the academy does, and Mr. Fence does. And it's really a way for, teachable, repeatable, measurable process that you can hire a guy that doesn't have a lot of fence experience. You don't need a fence ninja. That's the biggest thing, is I see like where companies stop growing is because it takes so long to train somebody sometimes, like you can't hire a guy and 2 months later they go run a job normally. For us now, a couple months, I mean, they can go build our most common fence. I feel confident they'll get it done. It's going to take them a little longer, but it doesn't take them a year or two to get trained up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you
can teach them the skills that they need, but not the speed, if you will.
Yeah, right.
And that comes with something that comes with time, and only with time.
Right. It comes, right? But sometimes when you get that third truck or fourth truck going, you need them to go put in the fence. If it's 120 foot, it takes them all day, and they get it done, and they won. They're like, heck yeah, And don't be, and like, that's the thing with culture, I want to touch on that for a second, is like, when you do hire those new people, don't expect them to go out and build fence like you do, the same speed. I used to think that, like, why did they not get that 220 feet up today? Like, I could do it. And then, it took me a little while to realize, like, well, for one thing, they don't own the company, and they're not going to work from 5 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. Number two, all those times I got that really big job done the same days because it was an easy job. Let's be honest. I didn't run into all the problems. Like, so that's kind of the deal with knowing your numbers in the academy, is tracking all of that data and finding out an average section per man hour you can put in a day. Bidding accordingly. Like, I don't need to bid this 250 foot fence for one day for two people, because my numbers tells me that's probably not going to happen. right?
Right.
So it taught me a lot about culture as well, is not pushing these people. Going back to that 100-foot, if they go slam that out and it takes them all day, but they get it done and the customer comes out and she's happy and they get a review, that's worth something, All you did was 100-foot today. Like that's not a good attitude to have about it. I know that's a kind of off the rabbit hole, but another thing that
I fully agree with that. Like on that same note, it's like that was one of the things where like me and Billy became so tight is like Billy trained me with fencing. And every single time, no matter if it's like I'm slower or picking up the pace or anything like that, the whole time it's like, yo, good shit, good shit, good shit. And like not just fencing, but any job I've had, it's like that's how you teach somebody properly. And like he took me under his wing, showed me everything, showed me all the ropes with building fence. And I was like, this is fucking dope. Like I like this. Like when I'm doing fabrication out in the garage and stuff like that, it's like he'll sit there and take pictures of it when he comes in. Like he'll be out on the field putting up a fence. I'm back in the shop, like welding the whole day, and he'll go post pictures on Facebook and just like, yo, he got this whole thing done in one day and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, a lot of other people may be faster than me or whatever it is, and yada yada, whatever it may be, but like that little bit of hype that is not like, oh, that's all you did. It's like, good shit, man. Like, good job. Da, 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 da. We're speeding it up next time. Each time we're speeding it up and yada, like whatever it may be. That really, hypes you up, and it really makes you want to drive further and go harder the next time around. It's like, oh, look, I just did this by myself. Next time I'm gonna try to cut that speed in half, and next time I'm gonna try to cut that down even faster. And it builds like a positive culture, as you said, and that positive culture really, I mean, that's what started the Gatekeepers podcast. Like
Positive
in all reality,
positive reinforcement goes a long way. And I really found that out as being a father and learning my way through fatherhood, and being a hot-headed 20-year-old. I realized real fast that like just getting mad at a freaking 2 or 3-year-old, it doesn't do anything.
No.
So like I used that, and I used it because like once I started teaching people how to build fence, I fucking fell in love with it. Like I love to teach people. It's almost the same thing. When I see that light bulb go off, that's all I need. You don't even have to pay me. All I want to see is that, holy shit, I've been doing this the whole time and I could have been doing it like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that is the thing that I love. And I find that if you give, even if they didn't do it fast enough or they didn't reach a quality standard and it may be their second or third fence, don't beat them down. Be like, hey, look, you messed that up, but here's how you can fix it next time, and like avoid that. And I find that people learn and they want to do better if you build them up instead of break them down, even whenever they've done something wrong.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, I look at the place I used to work, and there was a lot of curse words, right? A lot of yelling, and looking back, I get it. I probably done some stupid shit, deserved it, but it just ruins everything at that point. Like, I mean, anything that went positive is now a negative, and it does absolutely nothing. And with the training, it's a two-way street. Like I said, like, yes, even with the academy, like I'm a coach, right? I'm coaching, but I'm learning so much stuff too. Like it's not just me. I don't have all of the answers. I can say, hey, hang on a second, I've really done that wrong. Like I suggest giving this, a different perspective, but I'm learning as well. Like, I mean, I don't know if y'all seen it today. I posted, like, I still post in the group, ask questions. I want other people's opinions. Like, I mean, we've been to trainings and shown people how to do something, and they're like, well, just hear me out for a second. Like, yeah, what you got, man? And I'll do something. And even like Sean's been like, holy shit. Wow. Like, yeah, compare this, you put this with this. Holy, now we've really got something here. So I don't think it ever ends, with the whole learning aspect. Being able to assist somebody along the way is great, but I'm selfish too. I want to learn something as well. So two-way street with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Man, I just completely forgot what I was about to ask you.
If we could put the Academy logo up behind you on the screen, I think so. I think we should get that back.
Yeah.
We can throw a banner. You got a website or anything you'd like to put on there?
I'm talking. I think we can do some soundproofing and maybe get a little full-time logo back there behind y'all.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it well.
I like that.
We in case anybody is kind of curious, the change and everything. We are now running the show from my office in the house, so I usually have a spare mattress in here in case anybody stays over, whatever. But I've got like giant vinyl plotter over here on this side. I've got like all this screen printing, sublimation printing, everything.
It'll all be fixed next week.
All electronics. It's kind of like thrown together last minute with switching it into this room. So there's a lot of things that we need to move around and change and get situated. But in case everybody's like, what the hell's that random green square behind everybody? Like,
it's a nice memory foam mattress.
It's a really nice mattress.
Yeah, it
is.
It's
a nectar. That's the spare bed. It's comfortable.
Comfortable.
Oh no, it's legitimately a mattress.
Yeah, it's legit mattress. It's a nice comfy mattress. But yeah, no, we've talked about that, and we're gonna set up a Zoom with Sean for this upcoming week, so that way we can get all that all that handled. It was like, what was it, like 7:45 on Saturday or Sunday, something like that. I was sitting there. Me and my wife were playing rummy at the coffee table, and my phone dings, and I'm like, whatever. And then it does a little 2-minute ding, and I was like, huh. And it said Sean King, and I was like, what does Sean want on a Saturday night at 7:45? So I went over there and looked at it, and I was like, babe, we're gonna have to pause rummy for like 25 minutes. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, I gotta call Dan.
Yeah. So me and him chatted for a little bit. And
I'm glad he texted you at a decent hour. He texted me at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually 3:30 and say, let's go. And I'm like, back to bed? Like, what are you doing? Get up.
Yeah, right. Let's go back to bed.
3:30. The only place I want to go right now is
every once in a while I'll call his bluff on it, you know. I'll just call him. What's up, man? Oh, just like he's out doing. I'm like, oh, never mind. I messed up. Then we're on the phone for an hour, and I'm like, might as well go to work at this point, you know.
That's hilarious. All right. Well, hey man, we're gonna go ahead and we've hit our time limit, so we're gonna go ahead and call it. Can you drop what's your website real fast, so that way we can go ahead, if you want to go ahead and follow Chris, give him a like, share, and follow on Facebook.
Highsteele.com is the website. Homeoffense.com. I don't know our Facebook stuff. I was not prepared.
No, you're all right. There should be an E after the L, bud.
Oops.
Yes, sir. And I like y'all's Facebook, like person. Speaking of y'all's Facebook person, I like the live action shots. I like the random candid shots where they have no idea that you're taking pictures of them working.
Yeah.
I really do like that
of you.
It'd be a lot better if I got our people the content they request every week when they're screaming at me, going, "Send us content, send us content." That's one thing I just got to get so much better at, man. Is we have a great photographer that comes out, does all our shoots, does everything, and then we turn that data into a company, and we just have not done it in a while. Like,
right.
We've got some pictures out, company cam pictures and stuff going up lately, but they are screaming at me for videos and content. I'm like, yeah, like I'll just sit down and do that real quick. But
I will say,
no big deal.
I will say, without naming any names, all of y'all's like pictures, they no longer work for you. Like every time I see one, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, we're a little outdated. We're a little outdated, man.
But no, man, I really do love like all of those just in the moment pictures, instead of like a fence and some big ass paragraph about the fence. It's just very short, sweet. It's a picture of somebody, whether it be carrying a concrete bag or holding a nail gun, not even shooting it. I love the candid pictures that you guys get.
Just real. It's in the moment.
Yeah, it's real, and that was not planned, honestly. This photographer that we hired just came out and was like, hey, Obviously we want to showcase fence. That's what we do. But there's how many times can I show a 6-foot stockade style pine privacy fence? Not that many times. So the photographer is like, hey man, let's get some shots of what happens when like someone comes into your backyard. Like, what is the customer going to see? They're going to see the guy carrying the bad concrete when it's 120 degrees. They're going to see all of this. So, hey man, give it a shot. And we've been getting some compliments on that. So I definitely need to work harder. It's probably half of what it should be and can be. So I'm glad you brought that up because now I'm going to say it publicly that I'm going to get better at it. So
we're going to hold you to it, man.
There we go.
Next time we're on the show, we're going to bring up your Facebook.
Right. Better be on point.
Remember the last time? And then here goes a clip cutting back. I'm going to work on my social media. And then it's like,
yep.
Chris, you've been slacking, buddy.
I know. It's always something.
All right, man.
But we
are.
It's good.
We're going to let you go. Thank you so much for being on the show, Chris. Truly appreciate everything you do for the industry, for us personally. Love you, man. You have a wonderful night, all right?
Indeed. Thank you. We appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
See ya.
Take care. All right, everybody. We are back with just us. Chris is an excellent dude, man. He's always been there. Anytime we kind of need a last minute something, it's like, yo, let me borrow this real quick. And he's like, I got you. No problem.
Yeah, man.
It's he's a good guy.
Yeah, man.
We definitely need to soundproof this room. I can hear my dog barking.
Yeah.
Over and over. The little rat.
Yeah. That'll be all right.
Got a Chihuahua pug mix. And
this is just temporary. It will not be here next week.
Yeah.
All right. I promise you guys.
Yeah. We also recently moved and like I've only unpacked half of our shit, so we've been working on it.
It is what it is, and I worked outside today in the sleet and the freezing rain, and I know y'all are gonna make fun of me that are people that are like living in it and like deal with snow on a daily basis
every single day.
This Florida boy is not all right.
No,
it was freaking cold as hell today. The first time I've ever had straps being frozen.
That's a wild one there.
I mean, like I unrolled it because you know how we roll them up.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a noise when I dropped it. I was like, holy shit. That strap is really frozen.
It's solid.
I'm like, all right.
That's wild.
Yeah, man. It was
I remember first moving up here from South Florida or Central Florida. And coming from Tampa, it does not, it's like maybe 60 degrees out.
Right.
Like that's our cold. And I'm like, oh shit, I should probably throw some long jeans and like, sweater, like a thick jacket on. I'm like 60 degrees is freezing. And then like I moved up here in October and I remember it was like 2 months later, we had a garden hose out back freeze over and burst and like water everywhere. And I woke up. It's like, what the fuck is this? We're in Florida. This is still Florida. What is going on right now? Like this is not real.
The panhandle's cold. Don't play. I've lived in DC and I've lived in the panhandle. And I will tell you what, I will take DC cold over the panhandle cold.
See, the worst thing here is it's like waves. So you'll have like super hot days and then like you wake up in the morning and it's 30 degrees.
Oh yeah, like 2 days ago it was 68.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, here's 20.
Or how it's supposed to be 17 degrees tomorrow, but on Friday it's going to be 65.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just fluctuating.
The hell?
And my immune system does not like that.
No, dog.
I start getting the sniffle.
Yeah.
Getting clogged up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this rapid changing back and forth is killing me.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, hey guys, since we haven't done this like tonight, go check out the merch store. Go check out what your boy Dan added. The tank top idea was mine. Yeah. That was only mine. Yeah. No, that was my only idea.
Yeah.
Everything else
I made one of the designs and he's like, that would be hot as a tank
your boy
top.
Dan,
so
and he sent them to me. I think it was like Sunday night, and I was like, dog. I was like, those are fucking nice. I was like, you need to take that bottom one though and stick with the 90s style and just make a tank top out of it. Just straight up tank top.
Yeah, we got some floral print ones. 2 2 different designs with kind of like a floral, kind of what you'd see in Florida
Yeah.
for like tourist Florida.
I was about to say basically what I wear during the summer.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was born and raised in Florida. I lived here my whole life.
Straight up tank
I
top
go
life, dog.
full tourist.
Oh,
I go
dude.
full tourist in this thing.
I have like 35 tank tops.
Yeah. But I figured we'll rock some new designs because we are closing out towards the getting closer to the end of the month. We're officially halfway through.
I still gotta buy mine.
I know. You've been slacking.
I just keep forgetting, dog.
It's all good.
Keep forgetting.
We're about halfway through the month, so figured we got 2 weeks left of the
90s Cup, baby.
Yeah, the 90s Cup one. You've got the 2024 supporter down the side and the Gatekeepers logo on the other. The new hoodie does have a cool little design running down the side of it. It's going to be a long-term design. We actually have another artist other than myself working on some stuff, and we'll get to that when it's a little bit closer to ready to expand upon it.
I love it.
But we got a lot of stuff. We also have Fence Tech coming up really soon. And as of right now, I'm not 100% sure if I'll personally be able to make it. Just personal stuff going on. It's going to be a little bit harder to make it all the way up there and everything. But I know Billy will be gone. And we have a bunch of stickers that'll be in very, very soon.
Yeah.
And if you see this man, grab a sticker from him.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll give you one.
We got a whole boatload of them just to hand out.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. You put them on your hard hat, put them on your toolbox, you put them on whatever you want to, bro.
Put them on your work truck.
There we go.
Yeah, put them on the back of the work truck.
There we go.
XYZ Fencing podcast. That's how you know they're approved.
There we go. You got to get gatekeeper approved, right?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
How's my driving? Call
you call 1-800 gatekeepers. That's hilarious. All right, man. Go ahead and take us out.
Yeah, man. With all that being said, we appreciate you guys listening in, tuning in, and turning up. And for all things fence related, build them straight, build them strong, and build them sturdy. We are your gatekeepers, and y'all have a wonderful night.